Free Play Florida. Hey guys, today I'm obviously at Free Play Florida because I just said it. If you have not seen my other video where I showed you like all of the arcade games and stuff to do here, then definitely go check that out because it was really fun to film.
Stop talking!
Okay then, Mr. Spec.
So let's go ahead and tour. Take this tour. Oh!
So let's go and take this tour.
I know most of you, so that's why I invited you. And many of you signed up to come in, so I really appreciate you coming. Ryan, who should be standing next to me.
I'm really shy though, so
Ryan has agreed to accompany us on the tour. We're going to go through today and I'm going to show you some of the cool things that we're going to have on the floor this year. Obviously this is night number one. Many of you already know that Free Play Florida is not only is it a non-profit organization, well, White Amusement is a non-profit organization that puts on Free Play Florida. None of us get paid, we're all volunteers. All the machines that you see on the floor are brought in by members of the community that just want people to enjoy the machines. And we got some interesting machines this year, don't we, Ryan?
we have plenty, including, well, you'll see for yourselves.
Behind you, if someone would like to try it out, and I'm mostly looking at either Sean or Lily, like did it this year. Many of you may know this already, but David Crane, Gary Kitchen, and Dan Kitchen, the Activision guys, are out here at the event this year. Matter of fact, I'm picking them up in 2 hours from the airport, and they are a big part of what we're doing this year. People are super excited to see them at the event, and we're going to have a cool photo op with them on Sunday, right here in front of this really, really cool. Over here, for any of you Stranger Things fans, we have our lovely, this is from last year, if you were here last year, the Stranger Things arcade sign from season 2 of Stranger Things. And one of my favorite things that we put together was, because it's easier to sell merchandise in a game, this really, really cool machine that gives out merchandise for the event. Again, plugging the merchandise. I'm going to take you to my favorite thing that's here this year for the first time, and it's right over this way. It's the mold-o-matic machines. If you're familiar with these mold machines, I don't know all the technical terms, but it's a plastic wax resin thing that you may have seen these way back in the day. This Disneyland one is a real Disneyland one. Like, this is not a replica. I mean, it's obviously been worked on, but it's a real deal Disneyland mold-o-matic. This one here, as you might recognize, this one's actually a replica of the Sinclair motor oil mold-o-matic that was used at the 1964-65 World's Fair. And you can see in just moments, way faster than any 3D printer, they produce these really, really cool toys. And what's cool is, this is local. There are only 2 people in the country who still work on these machines, and one of them lives right down here in Florida, and he was nice enough to bring this out. He'll be here tomorrow and the next day making these things. You make a charitable donation. I don't know what the donation goes to. He will tell you. And you get one of these really cool toys. If you've been here before, you know the main attraction for most people is all the arcade and pinball machines. As we go through, keep a close eye because you're going to see a lot of rare machines in addition to the classic ones that we grew up with. You'll notice that there's a good mix of both modern, retro, and super retro arcade games as we go through here. One of the highlights for a lot of people is, and many of you have seen this before, is the 10-foot tall Star Wars arcade cabinet. This was the first 10-foot tall arcade cabinet we built way back at the Star Wars Celebration. Anybody remember when Star Wars Celebration was here in Orlando? Free Play Florida, the members of Free Play Florida were invited to bring out a number of different arcade and pinball machines featuring Star Wars to the 501st Bash. And we thought to make it even more special for people, we decided to build a 10-foot tall Star Wars arcade cabinet, and it became a tradition to build 10-foot tall arcade cabinets Something that we started doing and now has become quite common. It's making noises. It's impressive by size, and if you play it, you feel like a kid again. These guys here are super, super cool. They run a place called Echo Base, and they sell all your favorite old toys. They're a small shop, but they do cool things like build Han Solo and Carbonite. All right, continuing down here, we're going to pass Cybertron. If you buy retro games locally, you're probably familiar with these guys. The lovely Robo Ono is working on a really cool Cubert design. You may not know this, but the character Cubert actually appeared well before the movie Wreck-It Ralph. It turns out he's an arcade character. Okay, a lot of really cool pinball machines. Deadpool, roller coaster type, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. As I said, a mix of classic, newer machines. All these machines are brought in by local collectors. So a lot of people ask us before the event, what machines are coming out to the event? Well, we don't actually know until they show up a lot of times. Oftentimes we do reach out for certain machines that we know we want because certain developers are here, but we never really know until the day of. We were talking about Cubert just a few minutes ago. We're going to go over and meet Warren Davis. He is the creator of Cubert. His buddy Jeff Lee, who actually did the art for Cubert, will be here this weekend. He's also a very talented artist and magician, and that's not a joke. This is the great Warren Davis. That is Cubert, the actual Cubert. This is Cubert. If you get a chance this weekend, definitely come by and say hi. So, you got a new book out. If you're going to be selling it, you both at your tables this weekend. Very exciting. Over here is the talented George Patrick. Many of you guys, not looking at anyone in particular, are excited to see the Angry Video Game Nerd. This is his second year at the event. It's also Warren's second year at the event. A lot of our guests are return guests. A lot of our guests actually ask to come back, which is a very good problem to have. Angry Video Game Nerd, he's also brought his friend Justin Silverman to the event today. Pinball Lounge has been with us for many, many years. If you haven't been to the Pinball Lounge yet, I highly encourage you to get out there. Great human beings. They got a couple of guests at the Pinball Lounge booth. You have Chris Franchi, who's the artist that did the artwork for Monsters. He also did the artwork for Batman 66, one of my favorite ones. Definitely meet him, check out his artwork. Next to him, since we were talking about the Monsters pinball machine, you can also meet Butch Patrick. Which, tell us some facts about Butch Patrick.
Well, Butch Patrick, if you were not aware, was Eddie Munster back in the day. And most people don't realize that is not makeup. He was actually a small werewolf. Small werewolf.
You're so much better at this than I am. Alright, we're going to come around the corner. How many fans of Mortal Kombat are here? Okay, so everybody, this is going to be great. I got to pick up this man at the airport today, and he's literally the happiest person you're going to meet. Yes, that's right. Somebody who engages in Mortal Kombat is the happiest person you'll ever meet.
Yeah. You got caged.
Literally the most pleasant airport drive from the airport that I've had. It was awesome.
Thank you.
First time at the event, correct?
Yeah.
I'll be here all week. So we're super excited to have him at the event this year.
Yeah, thanks for
He's been
having
on our list for a while. We're super excited to have him out. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming to the event.
Thank you.
Give us a meet the Activision guys.
I'm here all weekend.
Dan Kitchen, Gary Kitchen, David Crane. I highly encourage you to meet them. They'll be coming in late tonight, and they'll be around the next 2 days. Do I have any fans of the movie Tron? There is a ridiculous amount of real deal memorabilia inside there. So if you get a chance to walk through, please do. Please don't take anything. It's amazing. There's so many cool items in there. Stuff I would love to add to my collection, but I don't have the money to make that happen.
What each and every last one of them is.
Anybody ever seen the film The Last Starfighter? I pointed this out on the tour last year. You know, this was actually made by a member of our crew because it's not really an actual arcade for But it's super cool and it's super accurate too. So if you've seen the movie, you'll definitely get a chance to appreciate just how spot on it is. I mentioned, again, and I'll say it a million times, nonprofit organization. One of the things that Free Play Florida does is we give indie developers, indie video game developers locally, because we have a lot of them, you know, from UCF, from Full Sail, we give them a chance to show off their games for free. So we give them tables just to show off their games.
There is a game that you have over here that I understand is one of 3 copies of this game in existence.
I didn't know that.
Does anyone else see that particular game? Very rare game.
We're gonna go see that. Did you all know that there was a sequel to Marble Madness? This is Marble Man. And as you can see, it is a multiplayer Marble Madness. It was at the event last year. You couldn't play it last year. But this year, one of our amazing collectors brought it out. And you can actually get your hands on it and actually play things. How many people remember the original world? Marble Madness. Yes. How many people remember that? It was a hard game. It had like 5 levels or something like that. And you still couldn't beat it. We're going to head over to Indie Alley. Remy has been working with Free Play probably the longest out of all our indie developers.
Me and Brian, we've been working as well.
Yeah. And he's been working on Floppy and Floppy Planet. If you get a chance to actually look at the game, it is a gorgeous game. It's got awesome 3D print models. I definitely recommend you take a moment to actually see just one of our local developers that really make Orlando an amazing, amazing place.
And all this game, all the stuff that we see here, this is all done on our own pockets. All the figurines are all made and fabricated by ourselves. All the events that you see that we do this out of our own pockets. We actually will be going to PAX for the first time this year in January. And we've actually started doing a Patreon community for people that have been asking to play test the game over and over. So if you want to go ahead and see updates and support us as developers, it helps us continue developing the game. Maybe you can help, you know, kind of spread the word about it. So if you like it, please come by, come play, tell your friends, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you really like the game, buy a t-shirt or figurine. If you really want to support us, join the Patreon. It helps us, every little bit helps.
Much like Free Play Florida, these indie developers that work locally, it's all passion driven. So that's one of the reasons why the connections there with the indie development scene is because, you know, we feel the same thing when doing this event. Also, he's located near some really cool things. We have Arcade Monsters, yet another location in Oviedo where you can play video games. And if you get a chance, that giant Cosmotron machine is one of the coolest machines you're likely to encounter. So definitely take a chance to walk over there and check it out. It is a newer game, multiplayer. It is crazy, sporadic, and a lot of fun. I mentioned that we built a number of different 10-foot tall arcade cabinets. This is our 10-foot tall Donkey Kong. This is the 3rd one that we built. There is also a Tron. If you ever go down to the Replay Museum in St. Pete, you're going to see our 10-foot tall Tron. That one was, when we built it, it's not nearly as mobile as the other ones. It's wicked heavy. Every time we disassemble it and reassemble it, there's always the chance that it will collapse and kill somebody. So we decided just to leave it at the Replay Museum. But this one was when we got to the point where we developed it's very lightweight. We put casters, if you get a chance to peek behind it, we have casters in the back, so when we have to move it around, we got to the point where we're able to just tip the whole thing over and slide it through doors. So this is 3rd time out. You finally learn from all your mistakes and make it work. So, and it gets a lot, I think this one actually gets the most love. This is just our console area. I don't say just our console areas. Again, a lot of our friends have brought out some really cool games. We have a lot of really awesome vendors that came out to our events. So definitely take some time to check out all this stuff. For those of you who were at last year's event, you might remember that this area was not part of the main hall. Well, we've had so many machines added to the event that we had to make sure we had room. So this area actually got knocked out. We got the rooms across the hall that I'm going to show you in a minute. And it gave us a lot more room for more games.
So as you guys may know, we have a very, the word I would use, very high stakes pinball tourney that happens every year. So we always like to make sure they have a separate area where they can actually play their games. I would recommend that if you have a moment to just peek your head in. I wouldn't go too far in though, because it gets very, very intense in there. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just these guys are playing for, in some cases, a lot of money. So they take their pinball very, very seriously. And it's one of the reasons why, over the past 6 years, we've decided to move them out from the main hall and give them their own space, which has helped quite a bit.
Brandon tap dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Over here is our panel room. Nothing going on right now, but I did want to tell you some of the cool things that we have going on this weekend. One of the things that separates Free Play Florida from other arcade events, and the reason why many of you who have been in past events continue to come to Free Play Florida is because, unlike other arcade events, we do a lot of wacky stuff. And just to give you an idea, tonight will be the first ever Dad live concert at Free Play Florida. Our friend Dad.
Is anyone here familiar with YouTube sensation Dad? Okay, what do we got? Dad, we got a couple over here.
He is going to do a concert tonight when the show closes. He is going to go into the panel room at 11 o'clock and do Dad Feels Live, which will be super exciting. A lot of music. It's going to be a full concert thing, as I understand. I have not seen it yet. I will at the same time as you.
We've got a little bit of time before this, so at some point tonight, take your phones out, jump onto YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
Check out Dad. It's just Dad, spelled the normal way.
Yep. He looks suspiciously like Nathan Barnett, so if you know who Nathan Barnett is, you'll find it. Inside there, we'll also have game shows tonight, so if you have time, you want to check out one of our game shows. We have the Classic Arcade Quiz. We have Dr. Overdrive is doing a Name That Tune video game edition, so if you like video game music, there's going to be prizes for people in the audience. Over the course of the weekend, we're going to have a number of different panels that involve all of our guests that are here at the event. Some of the highlights for me, are there any highlights for you?
Streets of Stage, by the way. Every year, Nathan Barnett or one of his cohorts will host live theater, and we're talking very heady stuff, very highbrow theater, where they will bring members from the audience. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you. I'm not sure about you, but you can come out on stage and you can participate yourself. And this year it's Streets of Stage.
Streets of Stage, how to defeat Daniel Pacino.
And we all just met Daniel a few minutes ago.
Yes.
Johnny Cage.
He ends up a real nice guy. I really feel bad that we're going to have to learn how to beat him up.
We're going to finish him.
Keith Apicary is teaming up with the longest running American Ninja Warrior in Florida. His name is Rico Rivera, and the two of them are going to show you some classic arcade moves that will help you defeat Daniel Pacino. It will involve some crowd interaction, as I understand. It will involve you standing up and kind of practicing your moves. So that'll be tomorrow at 10.
We need to keep it quiet. Daniel doesn't know that we're going to defeat him yet, so that's our little secret, just right here, okay?
We also have the very, very popular Cinemasker panel. The Cinemasker panel filled with standing room only. It was huge. And that's another one of our big panels. Tony Temple just walked by. Hello.
I'm sorry.
Anybody ever play Missile Command? Well, you're wrong. It's not pronounced Missile Command. It's pronounced Missile Command. Because he's from the UK. He is one of you're the best Missile Command player in the world, or second best, or third best?
Well, I hold the world record on missile command.
Statistically speaking, you
Statistically,
are.
yes. I suppose you could say that.
And you're hosting a game show tonight, the Classic Arcade Quiz.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going to happen and
sure.
who's going to be involved?
They're taking place in about 25 minutes, correct?
Yeah, 25 minutes. So it's the Classic Arcade Gaming Quiz. You would think having clever people able to answer questions about classic arcade games would be incredibly dull with someone just blurting out answers. The whole point is the people on the panel really don't know that much, but they're recognisable classic arcade game celebrities. So it's kind of a quiz in reverse, that the idea is no one's going to get the answers, but everybody learns something along the way, so we actually show the answer and explain why that's the answer. We did it last year, it's very, very popular, and we've kind of turned the mix up a bit this year, and we've got additional interesting interactive rounds, so it's going to be good.
Tony Temple, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay.
Tony's been with our event for a number of years. We've since brought him on because he's just one of those awesome people who just kind of gets what we're trying to do here at Free Play Florida. And we consider our press people. You are also some of those awesome people who understand what we're trying to do here and just bringing back the feeling of the classic arcade. As I said, there's a lot of events. I could go into them all, but there's a number of different ways you can check out to see what the event schedule looks like. You can check out our event page on Facebook, and all the event schedule is pinned on the very top. You also have the option to download the Free Play Florida app. I'm understanding that the iOS is still being updated. We're waiting for that update to go through. All of the times are right, but they still have last year's dates on them. So if you get iOS, it's still the right times. It'll just say November 9th, 10th, and 11th, because Apple's hard to deal with. Let us know. Other than that, I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I did not like this. Thank you so much.
Okay guys, so I just finished the tour and it was great. I love Free Play Florida with all my heart. If you have the opportunity to come here, definitely do it because it's super fun and definitely worth the money. It's actually not that expensive and it's just really worth it. Well, thank you for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more footage like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.